Today's episode of Abuelitas, well, do you know what they are doing? They are actually putting their party dress on, they're opening the door, they're setting up a new plate at the table, waiting for a very special guest. This is Entre Abuelitas, and I'm your host, Liliana Montenegro. Thank you for listening. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos. Ahora, let's get right into it. This is Lily Talk. And what are we going to talk about today? Just a simple little reminder that will follow through into today's show, which is called Familia. Now, in this world, we have many heroes, and not all of them go viral, but some of their stories should. Now, on today's program, we will have some heroic stories. We will have some laughter, and it will come from the most different source you've ever heard on Entre Abuelitas. Now, we all know that there are parts of our own stories that not everybody knows about. Like, what were you like when you were a child? Did you have a nickname? I certainly did. From my guest. How did your family shape your beginnings, and where was it that you went with them? Where did you take those ideas, those values, that advice that your family gave you? Now, did you have a secret hideaway when you were a child? You know, I did. And let me tell you, sometimes it was very hard to get to. But when I did, I was actually in the open, but actually nobody saw me. I can tell you that story a little bit later. Did you have a quiet space where you would go as a child and think about your dreams, your fears, your hopes for the future? What would you going to be when you grow up? Well, as we grow older, we have to understand that the most perfect of families, well, even them will go their separate ways. We talked about this in the last episode about friendship and how all the communication and the principles are actually based on the same thing, that we just keep in our lives those people that we want to keep. And sometimes it's a friend, and sometimes it is a family member. Because nowadays, families, listen to this one, families break up all the time. And what does that mean? It means that everyone is looking for that soft, secure spot where you don't experience any static, any unhealthy situations, as most of our younger generations call it. Now, it is very sad to say and to admit that when I was a child and growing up back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, well, we didn't not only have that choice because we were children, we didn't even have that knowledge because that all came with time. So we remained in that dysfunctional, functional to us family relationships. But the times are changing now, and whether it is the pressures of work, of life, or technology, and also the change in expectations of every new generation. All of this is what shapes us to be the most incredible, beautiful, and complicated human beings ever. Now, holding on to family, well, that's truly another story because it is not an automatic thing. It takes care, it takes understanding, it takes patience, and it sure takes a lot of love. You know, over time, what people want from the family dynamic has completely shifted. Now it is about interpersonal fulfillment, independence, and self-care. Self-care. And let me tell you, I understand, and I don't see absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is a great thing. But can we combine a little bit of the past so that we can bridge over to the future with some of the values that we used to have? That is something to really think about, and maybe hear a little more about abuelitas so that we will learn from them. More and more generations are leaving an unhealthy relationship at home. They just don't want to stay because of obligation. And what they do with that, well, they are actually walking along their own life's path, shedding away all that pain, all that emotion, all that cultural, social, and emotional baggage that we've been carrying for so many generations. So I truly, admire the young people who are trying really hard to change the mistakes that we made and continue to bring into their world. It was not intentional. We have loved you all along. And you know what? My guest today recognizes that exactly. And he found the changes that actually brought him a way to create his own fulfillment, even if it meant to relocate. Well, and yes, I did say he. Did you hear that? If you were paying attention, I did say he, because Entre Abuelitas welcomes to our show our very first abuelito. Well, let's wait and see what he has to say. He is a grandfather. Yes, he is an abuelito. He's a retired police officer. He's a very kind human being. He's a man who has lived his life full of purpose and who still has so much knowledge that he wants to share with the world. Now, why did I call the show Familia? Because my guest is much more than that. He's in my heart. He's my familia. He is my brother. Please welcome to Entre Abuelitas, Jorge Montenegro. Hello.
Hi, sis. How you doing?
How
Thank
are
you
you,
for
my
having me on
love?
your show.
Say that again.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, you're very
Even
welcome.
e-
Can I
even though
ask you,
even
get a
though
little
even though I feel like you forced this upon me.
I forced it
Yes.
upon every person on the show. No, I didn't. But if I can ask you to get a little closer to your tablet so that we can hear you a little bit better. Before we go any further, just tell us a little bit about who Jorge is.
Well, Jorge he was born in 1960 in Lima, Peru. We came as immigrants to the United States when I was 7 with my entire family, and life progressed from there. And as you can imagine, what any other immigrant goes through, life was very difficult. Life was extremely difficult for us growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Very much in the sense of having nothing, and our parents working themselves to death, trying to give us very little, but they did, and we benefited from it. And little by little, they showed us more than what they could give. They show us the ability to be able to fight for what you want,
Mm-hmm.
for what you want to be able to give your family, for what you be able to pass on to your children. And that is something that I hold very high and dear in my life. And I try to progress and bring that forward as I grew older.
Now, let's talk a little bit about our childhood. You have kind of, passed by it a little bit, but yes, we were poor. Um, I wanted to bring up though this little story. If you remember when we lived, that was our last home. It was on what was the name? Tarata. Was that the name of the street?
Yes,
It
Tarata.
was Tarata. It was in Los Barrios Altos in Lima, Peru, and it was a very old little like a duplex with a house underneath and one on top, and
Yes.
then it had a roof. And if you remember when I started this show, I said I had a hiding place. Do you know what my hiding place was when we were little?
When it comes to our childhood in Lima, there isn't very much that I remember, but I
Mm-hmm.
do remember you and I playing, you and I chasing each other around. The
Yeah,
house was big. It
it was
was
big.
big. And
Mm-hmm.
we had this incredible size living room
Mm-hmm.
that we would go in.
Oh no, you're not gonna bring that story.
It's not a story, but I do remember we used to play in there a lot.
But you
and
remember what happened. Go ahead, tell it.
that I went in first, and
I
if I
was chasing
remember,
you.
yes, you were chasing me, and as you were about to enter, I slammed the door, and this is where we're having. This is old construction from the 50s. Okay,
Huh?
very heavy door,
Very heavy.
and door met head. Door,
It met my eyebrow, and immediately my dad came over and took me to the emergency room. That was pretty funny. If I may ask you to get a little closer again, I'm kind of losing you. But those were funny times. And yes, you were smaller. And when you guys came to the United States, you left me behind. Do you remember that?
yes, yes.
And I,
I remember arriving. We came to the United States through Miami.
mm-hmm,
That was a port of entry to the United States, and then from there we migrated to Los Angeles.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. And then, unfortunately, not long after, was it a year or two, that you had an accident and you were hit by a car?
Yes, this was not even 6 months after
Oh, it's that short a time.
our younger brother Ronnie. Um, we were playing in the front yard with toy dart guns,
Mm-hmm.
and Ronnie shot one into the street. And me, I gotta take care of my younger brother. I ran out into the street without looking, and the last thing I remember is getting hit and flying about 20 feet from where I was standing.
Right.
And after that, I remember very little other than seeing myself in my dad's arms.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing I remember is quite a while later, I don't remember how long it was, I was in the hospital.
You were hit in the head.
Yes, the impact was, I was bending down, and the impact was the front bumper hit me in the back of the head.
And if I remember correctly, since you have been a very little boy, we have called you hard headed.
Yes.
So we all knew that you would heal and would be just fine.
Yeah, it was. Uh, I was a medical miracle, according to the doctors, because there was no skull fracture. The car
Wow.
impacted me at about 20 miles an hour.
Wow.
The lady did try to brake. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she never saw me
Of
at to the last
course.
moment, and there was no other than just extreme inflammation. My head blew up like a pumpkin,
Wow.
and but there was nothing wrong. There was no brain trauma, no anything.
Are you
They
sure about that? Now, you're my
Yes.
brother. Are you sure about
Well,
that?
yeah, some people have told
Was
me
I
that
in the
before.
area that affect me by association?
Yeah, well, I don't
It
know if
will. But let me ask you, Jorge. Um, you, we didn't have it easy as young people and then teenagers. We were faced with life decisions pretty quick. But there was one thing that you always wanted to be, and that was a police officer.
yes,
How
yeah.
did that come about in your mind, in your heart of hearts? How did that start?
Um, One of the things as a child you mentioned about a place where you go to hide from yourself or to hide yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, it was twofold. It was also hiding from me inside my own mind. I used to read a lot. I used to read a lot. When I was in
Mm-hmm.
high school, I was reading maybe 2 dozen books a week. Uh,
Wow.
and history, fiction, crime drama, science fiction, you name it, I read it. As long as I can get my hands on it, and I really enjoyed it. Then there was a few TV shows back in my time,
Mm-hmm.
and all the way back to the original, to the OGs, SWAT, the
Dude,
Rook,
you were always a TV guy. Always.
Starsky and Hutch,
Starsky and
and
Hutch.
I knew that one day I would wear the badge, that one day I would drive that black and white, one day that I would go out, and to me, these are not just words, to serve. and protect. To me, is something that was born inside me even before any of this started, even before I knew what I wanted to do.
Were you ever influenced by your grandfather, who was the chief of police in Lima for what, over 40 years?
Yes, our grandfather on our mother's side was chief inspector of what here you would call the FBI. The
Mm-hmm.
PIP was called in Peru,
Mm-hmm.
the Peruvian Investigative Police. They were detectives, just like the FBI, involved in major crimes, international crimes, etc. And also my godfather, one of my mom's older brothers. He was also in the police force.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that to honor their names, to honor their memories, that one day I would be the first one in the family to become a cop in the United States.
And that's
It
what happened.
it took me a while. It took me quite a while. It took me almost 7 years of putting in applications, of testing, of doing everything I possibly could. But this was the late 70s, early 80s. I hate to even mention uh, um, bigotry, to even mention racism, but
Mm-hmm.
there it was rampant everywhere I went. That I tested in every city in our areas. Even the city that finally hired me, LA. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would score in the top 1%,
Wow.
and they would always turn me away.
What
But
a
I was,
shame.
but I kept going.
You
Um,
kept
but
going.
yeah, there, you have regrets and stuff that you could have done in between. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should have gotten a degree, but you know what?
Right.
I was too concentrated on what I wanted to do. So I
Right.
worked odd jobs. I worked here and there. I worked for dad.
We
I
work for
went,
dad.
yeah, we worked for dad. But what?
Oh,
Um, Everything that you do gives you experience in something, and you learn from it. And
absolutely.
it might not be exactly what you want to do, okay, but it does help you in the future.
Of course. And it gets you to where you're going. Now, let's talk a little bit about that beautiful job of yours. And what is it? Tell me, is there any funny thing that ever happened at work that you carried with you throughout your career? Like the funniest thing, like, how could that happen to me? Something like that.
Like, you're talking about someone pulling a prank,
Or
or
anything that was
or
funny that stuck in your mind.
or a joke. There were quite a few. One of the one of the things that you do as police officers, okay, we have to have some levity. We have to have some easiness about what we are doing before we actually go out.
Hmm.
What I used to do is the moment that I'm suited up is the moment that I changed. I turned off my emotions, because regretfully in my job, emotions, one, can get people hurt,
Hmm.
can get me killed.
Yeah.
And I did little over 3 decades. Well, I think I did pretty well. But
Yeah.
yeah. Like one of the funniest things, if you want to talk about that, um, we I used to always get there very, very early.
Hmm.
And I wanted my uniform pristine. I wanted my badge and my name tag
Shiny.
to be shiny like the sun.
Right.
That was very, very important. Okay.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and the guys already knew, they all come in. Hey Monty, how you doing? That was my nickname on the force, Monty, for my last name.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there polishing my badge, polishing my buttons, polishing my name tag. And I remember I went to the bathroom. I came back. I sit myself back down. My stuff is still there. Okay. And all of a sudden, I'm shining my badge, and it's getting darker, and it's getting darker, and it's getting darker. And one of my partners switched out the it's kind of like borax that you use on your badge because
Uh
it's
huh.
metal. Uh,
Right.
but they swapped it out for a combination that actually tarnishes it.
Oh, how
Yes.
mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I look at it and I'm looking at my watch and we got to be on roll call in 5 minutes and my badge is now looking like
oh
just
no. What
came
did
off
you
the bottom.
do? What
Oh,
did you do?
oh, I'm looking at all these guys and they're all snickering, they're all laughing. They goes, "Hey Monty, we'll tell them you're gonna be a little late. Because we know you're not stepping in roll call like." Okay. And then they gave me back the real tube and
Excuse me.
I
Oh,
to finish off.
but that's camaraderie, that's
Yes.
friends among work. Now, was there a moment on this job that actually you can say, "Oh my God, that changed my life or the way I look at it"?
Um, one of the things that this job does, that it did to me, it turned me into a pessimist. I see the bad in
Mm.
everything. I see the worst in everything. We as human
Oh,
beings are not good people. Okay. The ones you mentioned, that I'm a hero, that I'm a good man. I don't consider myself a hero. Okay. And at times I didn't consider myself a good man. Right. Because
right.
I didn't want to get into my own head. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember being on patrol one night,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And we are walking in an area that is full of people. It's a weekend, families walking from shop to shop and everything else. My partner and I were, just walking along, no issues. Everything is quiet. And all of a sudden, I see this little boy couldn't have been more than 5 years old, holding on to his mom and dad. All of a sudden, I see the little kid look up at his mom, who was holding his hand, and yank, and yank, and yank until she let him go. And he said something and took off running towards us. And as he was approaching, I realized that he was coming straight to me. So I got on one knee and he came up to me and he gave me the biggest hug
Oh,
you you can imagine
oh.
a child giving a family member, a father or a mother. Okay, and he hugged me for a good minute. The mother and father as they approached, and he looked at me and he
Mm.
says, "Superhero,
Oh.
superhero."
You see, I'm not the only one who
Yeah.
says it.
And um, I guess there was a time when something must have happened to the family, and the police
Mhm.
helped them, and he remembers this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are important
Mm.
moments in a child's life, Jorge.
Yes,
It's
very.
very important for him to remember. We
Yeah.
we talked about it in one of our shows when a friend of mine who had been a reserve officer mentioned that whenever she would go somewhere, the parents sometimes would tell the little kids, "Hey, I'm going to have the police arrest you," and she would go, "No, don't say that. Don't create fear in them. We're the good guys. We're here to help him out if he needs it." And it's true. And those parents were doing well because that child knew exactly who you were.
Yeah. Yes, and I was so my even my partner told me after it happened that my demeanor. I mean, he said that he looked at me and he thought that I was going to break down,
Oh.
and then all of a sudden I took a deep breath and I calmed myself down.
Yes,
And
because Jorge would not do that.
no, not in uniform, not on duty. That is
No,
not what is expected of me.
of
You
course
see,
not.
that is what's wrong with police officers. We do what people expect from us instead of doing what we're supposed to do to keep them safe, to protect them, to provide them with the belief that everything will be okay.
Yes.
And
That's
that's what
that's a
that boy did for me after that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that he lifted your spirits forever and ever
Oh yeah.
until the 12th of never. But let me ask you another thing. Let me ask you, if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you tell yourself?
If I could give myself a piece of advice,
Mm-hmm. Your younger self.
one word:
What?
feel.
Yes.
Don't shut
Yes.
yourself
But
in.
you know what? That's another thing that is very important to mention to the people listen up. When we say that we come from a different generation and all these changes that have come through time and time again with the newer ones, we were taught to be strong and not to feel, especially if you were a boy. Back in that time, and even the women, they were supposed to be quiet and meek and accept everything that was given to them and told to them and asked of them to do. And boys, the same thing. You were told not to feel, to be the man of the house. If dad goes to work, you're the man of the house now. No, there's no such a thing. That's why it's so silly for me sometimes when people say, that older people are acting like children. And then I think to myself, well, what a wonderful way to be a child all over again, because some time ago you didn't know how to be that either, you
Hmm.
know? But, yeah, feel. Well, it's never too late for that, George.
No.
Most of the time I have to tickle you, but that's it. And when it came to the nicknames, yes, Jorge, and sometimes I call him George. It's Jorge George, depending on the mood of the day. But he used to call me Little Bit all the time. Oh, hey, my little bit. I'll never forget that. That has been more. I'm not going to say what it's been. Passwords through the years. But tell me, uh, you are a grandfather. Talk to me about that. How does a tough man like you, whose word for centuries will be feel, and how do you react to the love of your grandchild?
When it comes to my children, when it comes to my grandson, there's no such thing as being the powerful, strong man that I used to be or that I
No.
made myself be. No, no. I am exactly, and I'll never, and I don't regret saying it, that at one time in our lives, we turned into our parents.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember how dad used to be with us. My dad would start shedding tears at a moment in every situation.
Oh, yes, he
Mm.
did.
Yeah. And
He was
you know,
beautiful.
and you know what? And now I am in that situation. Or there are moments I see something, I hear something, and I start choking up. But when it comes to my grandson, he is 13 years old. He
Oh
is
my God. How the
he
years of 13.
yeah. Aiden is going to is
He's an artist.
yes, he loves his media.
His
Loves
drawings are amazing.
playing video games. He loves to
Mm-hmm.
draw. From what I've been
Mm-hmm.
told, he loves to read. He loves
Oh,
to instruct himself. That at times I feel, and I've talked to his dad about this, that he maybe feels the school slows him down. He's
huh?
one of those. He's one of those kids that feels that uh, uh, he wants to rush and get things done, and then all of a sudden
He
it's
wants
not.
to get there yesterday.
Yes, but he has to keep up with the other children, and thus it becomes, it probably frustrates him. But
The thing,
but
the thing I wanted to ask you, and I know you adore him and this and that, but you moved out of state. And it is one of those decisions that, and what I was talking about, how family, even the best of families, take their own paths and their own roads and they go away. You're in another state. You don't get to see him that often. Do you talk to him often?
not as often as I would like to. Okay. But he has all these things that he does. I mean, there was one day that we were visiting. It was not very long ago. It was last year. And all of a sudden, I see him. He's on a tablet in one hand and his laptop on the other, and he's actually working both at the same time.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's like, and he is doing stuff, and I am looking at this like I can barely turn on my email as you saw earlier.
Yes, as I was a witness as before we
Yeah,
started this recording.
yes. Hey, I love technology as long as I know how to hit the on button and turn off the
Things are
machine when I'm
changing by
done.
the day. Things are
Okay.
getting very, very complicated as time
Yeah.
goes by.
But
But yeah,
and right now I only have one grandson. I am hoping that my youngest daughter, Angelique, she moved back. She was living in Alaska for 3 years, all on her
right.
own. She
Very
came.
proud of her.
She just moved out this weekend. Got her own place after only being here
And
6 months.
I can't believe the low rents in Arizona. Thank you very
Uh,
much.
yeah, it. That's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
regretfully, not saying that I didn't love California. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but regretfully, you have to make choices that you can live
Yes.
comfortably.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
absolutely.
that's all I can say about that right now.
But
Uh,
you do take trips to come and see
oh,
us, and I'm hoping
that-
that soon it
yeah,
will be. Jorge, before we get any further, estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David y a los jóvenes bonitos se las cantamos así. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, my sweet adorable brother. Happy birthday to you and many, many, many more. Now, whoever didn't like that song, it's okay. I won't sing again. But happy birthday, Jorge. May life bring you still every dream that you need to achieve in life.
thank you. I appreciate that.
And
I
before we
appreciate
leave, because as you have seen it, we're over the half hour, and we're still talking. But I love us talking and finding out more about how we feel. First of all, I'm very, very happy that you have joined the Feeling Society. It was about time, and I think that it comes with the abuelito territory.
Yes.
What is your advice to the younger generations? What do you want to tell them on this new year? You know, my grandson, your nephew, is graduating high school. What do you tell that generation about life and what's coming?
Well, what's coming is not easy. We live now in very volatile times, all right? But it doesn't mean that you as an individual cannot make a difference. Because even though I am not on TV, even though I am not have my own TV show, which they should have given me one.
Of course,
Because,
yes. I'll be working on that, just
yeah,
like I'm working on mine.
because William Shatner as TJ Hooker, I would have been better. Uh,
Ay,
but
Jorge.
anyways, but anyways,
He was
uh,
your favorite. He was
yeah.
always your favorite growing
Oh,
up,
Bill,
though.
I love Bill.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, you do.
awesome. To me,
Yes,
he is
you
the great.
always have.
To me, he is the greatest. He'll always be Captain Kirk.
He will
No,
always be
no
your
doubt.
hero.
But but all I can say is you can change the world.
Yes.
Take it one step at a time. Okay. And there was this incredible man that I used to listen to every year, every day going to work. And he said, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Ah, amen to that.
And that
Jorge
gentleman's
Montenegro.
name, and that gentleman's name was Casey Kasem, one
Oh,
one of the greatest DJs that
oh,
ever
yes,
put
he
on,
was.
that
What
ever
a
put on this.
voice. What a voice. Forever remembered by us and especially by you. Jorge Montenegro, you are a terrific human being. You are an amazing brother. I don't know sometimes what I'd do without you. I I thank you for being my guest. And don't go anywhere.
And
I'll be right back with you. I love you dearly. Happy birthday.
love
Let's
you
have,
too.
what is it, 66?
66.
66. Let's go for
Mm.
66 more. That'd be a hell of a long time.
That
Uh,
would be yeah,
I love you, but hang in there
love you.
for me. Now, everybody listening and watching us on YouTube, thank you so much for being with us today. But my final words to you: family gets you started in life. La familia te pone en el camino. But the ones who really care, but esas personas que de verdad se preocupan por ti, that's what carries you through. Don't forget it. It's all about the love. I love you. Keep loving yourselves. Until the next time, this is Entre Abuelitas. I'm Liliana Montenegro with Jorge Montenegro. Oh my God, where did I hear that last name? Until the next time, gracias por todo. Los quiero. Un beso. Adiós.